Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, good morning. This is Jeebs here, your old composer here at the Decomposder Lounge, pulling back the layers and dissecting songs that you suggest, and we finally made it into single digits here on my countdown from 30 to my 1-year anniversary and then my ensuing break for a little bit. Circling back to Ginger, I've had quite a few requests to come back to Ginger, and this one is called Vortex. I believe this was released about 3 or 4 months ago. I saw a few other people who had done reactions. One of them, one of my favorite rock reaction guy, a guy named Nick Nocturnal. He's a fun guy to watch. Needless to say, so they said, hey Jeebs, you should do one. So here we are, I'm doing this. I want to thank the fans of Ginger so much. You know, the very first one that I did, I was, like I said, yesterday's video was from 12 Foot Ninja. And, you know, she was featured in it, and I think I may have shared in there that I got smoked pretty hard by thinking that maybe there was some kind of effect on her voice, but I didn't know. I'm just an old composer, and my game was media, you know, commercials, jingles, TV, film, and stuff, so I wasn't really well versed. And of course I've heard of growling or screaming, you know, some people would say Cookie Monster music, but that's as lightly as aware of it as I was. So when I saw her, I may have suggested in that video there's got to be some kind of layering going on there, but needless to say, it's been a great journey with Ginger ever since. Learning more about her, I've watched some interviews about her, talking about her technique and also the band, and that's another thing too, the incredible acceleration of the musicianship in the band, knowing that there's some, like, I think the drummer is a jazz fusion musician as well, and the kind of chords and what they've brought out in the year that I've heard, I think 3 or 4 of their songs I have here on the channel, has been, you know, a journey into it, like another galaxy for me when it comes to listening, and also, of course, enjoying her voice. Going from that super clean, clear, powerful, crispy voice to that, you know, gnarly, coming from under, growling, I don't know why I went, because it doesn't sound like that. It sounds a billion times better than that. Anyhow, so I'm doing Vortex here by Ginger. Thank you so much for the support. You guys know, if you guys want to buy me coffee because it doesn't support my channel, these advertising, the link is down below. The link will be down below for the headset, for the hat, and my Patreon. People are drifting over to Patreon, and I'm really super stoked. And I'll be doing things on Patreon during my break that I won't be on the main channel. So if you don't want to buy me a cup of coffee because you think you don't want to just buy me a cup of coffee, you want something you're funny, want something for your money, I better drink some more of my death wish here, because you see I'm still kind of blah 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 this morning. The link will be down below too. All right guys, let's do this. This is Ginger Vortex. All right.
Like a lunatic, frantic, the man in the room looks so dramatic, with a left shoe on his right foot. The spiral traffic feels too dramatic. Too dramatic. Quiet. The man is walking around. Where's the way out he never found? And inside, there's a moment of land. It's
I got to stop somewhere. I'm sorry, guys. This was pretty long roll, too, for me to not stop. Well, like I said early on, I'm not surprised by how I'm just out of my skin about what I'm hearing. One of the things that I want to bring, well, first of all, her vocals, like I said, they're just so unique. She has just a particular way of performing them when automatically, if you've heard one or two of songs that Tatiana has performed, it's a signature thing. It's just like, whether it's Maynard or whether it's the guy from Radiohead or something, there's these signature, or Smashing Pumpkins even, there's these signature sounds in vocalists that they get one note out, you automatically know who that is. And what's exciting for me is that when the tracks that I've done of Ginger, when she opens up with the clean voice, now I know what to expect. It's just, when is it going to come? But such attention to detail in the background vocal arrangements as well. They're so very... The engineering here is extraordinary as well. I can't glam enough over it. I would probably have to listen to this 2 or 3 times to pull out some of the more tighter, in-depth nuances of the engineering that's going on. But you guys know how I feel about this. During this process of recording, when a song gets released to the public, the engineer is part of the band. At least in today's day and age, I'm not saying prove me wrong or something. I'm just saying, because of my years of engineering, just whatever I've done with TV and stuff, but I just know what it takes to get what these guys are getting. The musicians are craftsmen with their instruments, with their particular sounds. Listen to the snare. That is like a funeral drum snare. I don't know sizes, but I'm going to say that's a really thin snare. But what else I love about the drumming are the ghost notes that are being played. It's extraordinary. The musicianship, the way they're playing their passages, and I can't say too much. I can't say that it's a riff, because there isn't necessarily anything repetitive that I can hook myself onto, but everything that they're playing, every bit of the notes in the scale that they're working with are just pushed into another level. Then she gets into the growling, and of course I get really like, there it is, there's that magic. But the magic is also backed up with they themselves kind of, drop the shift gear and then hit the turbo, and then all of a sudden, boom, that full chugginess that supports that style of singing that she goes into, kicks in. So now we're about to get into another place, but also something else I want to mention really quick, and it's back to the engineering. What's happening, what I feel is happening is what I call convex bottoming. Okay, concave and convex. I'm sorry, I would call this concave. It's the other way around. The way the bottom is sculpted out so that the bass has such a huge space to perform and to let his sound ring out, because these guys are playing in a lot of unison together, but he's also coming out and about his arrangements and doing his own things. But the EQ of it, there's this huge pocket right below Tatiana's singing that is consumed by the bass, and that is so powerful, and it allows him to shine even that much more when it comes to his performance. But anyhow, that was a long kind of how do you do. I think I'm at 2 minutes of a 4-minute song, so I'll get all the way through this and save my yada yada how do you do for the end of the song. All right.
Like a feather, I travel down the spiral staircase. One more look through a beam where stars rise. Like a feather, I travel down the spiral staircase, falling deeper than it is. All stars rise.
Jesus. It seems like they left the last half of what when I got back into it, where Tatiana is really going off more heavier on the growling than there was the melodic vocal aspect of it, which is, the first 2 minutes of her singing. I mean, she did have some sections in here. So there are overdubs actually, obviously that are happening if she's holding these high glassy notes with her clean vocal and the growling is slipping in and you can hear the crossover. But that in of itself is nothing. I mean, there's nothing to prove in this case except coming out with just an incredible piece of work. And once again, I got to go back to the layers of her voice. Any place that she's singing in those very glassy, wonderful tones of her voice and stuff, there's really intense layers that are going on, or harmonies, but also the layers in the growling. And definitely that's not has anything to do with her abilities, right? We're being clear about that, right? I get it. I know what she does, and it's been a hell of a learning lesson for me, and also glorious too. Is that male or female doesn't matter. The power of our instrument, and what we can do with it. It's absolutely amazing. Anyhow, another thing that I liked at the end of this too is that when she got into that lower part of her growling, remember I said earlier my first stop, how that's supported by that bottom end of the guitar and how dark and heavy and chunky that sounds. And that it's an art form, as I'm learning. You guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me saying this in the last maybe 3 weeks since I bought my first 7-string. I tried to do a chug riff, and now I'm learning that it's not about cranking gain or anything like that. It's about crafting these very unique tones that allow that kind of work to have that kind of tonal quality to it that's still audible. And it doesn't sound like a bunch of just, grindy ass overdriven tube noise or whatever else, gets to it. So anyhow, I want to thank you guys so much for having me come back to Ginger. Actually, I had looked forward to this as well because she has quickly, or the band itself and their musicians, the compositions, the arrangements, and the songs has quickly become one of my top 5 in this journey. And for me, the reason it has to do with actually the complexity of their arrangements and chord choices and the voicings and her performance, obviously, and stuff. So this has been one of the great joys this year of me having this channel. I want to thank you guys for it because this channel would not exist without you guys, and then I wouldn't know what to be playing without you guys giving me the suggestions. So I'm totally grateful for all of that. So yeah, 1 week away and I'm out of here, man. I think it might be the whole rest of the year before I do any reactions, just based on all kinds of crap that's happening. I'll fill you guys in on that before I dip out. I want to thank you guys for your support. Coffee, headsets, hat, Ginger's Spotify, and also the Patreon. Check out the Patreon. That'd be great if you went over there. All right, guys, take care. Aloha. All right.